Disclaimer, I've never seen Star Wars. If you get annoyed because I mispronounce a word or don't get bricked up when I hear a lightsaber, that sounds more like a you problem. Also, thanks to these guys for the suggestion. Load up Jedi Fallen Order. Start a new game. Welcome to what looks like a spaceship scrapyard. Either that or everyone in this universe are very bad drivers. You are Cal, a man somewhere between the ages of 12 and 30. You live and work on this scrapyard when your boss is like, the rotary finger blastinator isn't working, so go and repair it with Prauf, which honestly looks like a name you'd get if you smashed your face on the keyboard, but he's an alien, so I'll let it slide. After repairing whatever the heck this is, you find a Jedi fighter that's supposed to go for a lot of money in the Star Wars world. But will it save you from death? The thing you were repairing breaks, sending you both into a slip inside. You get saved by some wire, but sadly Prauf goes skydiving and all you can do is reach out your hand in horror as you watch your friend fall to his death. Oh, you're one of them. Force wielders. Anyway, he's alive, so jump on a train. Prauf thinks you need to get off this planet because the Empire wants to kill all the Jedis, and you agree, but instead of planning your escape, just fall asleep and have a dream where your master who trained you in the Jedi-ness smacks you on the floor telling you to trust in the Force. When you wake up, the train stopped and some stormtroopers take everyone outside. Prauf says it's just a contraband check, but I don't think you need these scary people to check your ass for contraband. This lady, who's called the Second Sister, but I'm gonna call her Darth Vader 2.0, goes, I smell a Jedi among you, and will murder everyone if you don't come forward. As a distraction, Prauf talks smack about the Empire. That's who she works for. It gets him lightsabered and you're like, Prauf, no! You could say this is an admission of guilt. Darth Vader 2.0 claps your cheeks and then the Ninth Sister is like, I found the Jedi! Like, yeah, I'm surprised you were able to solve that riddle. Before she can kill you though, she accidentally drops you onto a train full of stormtroopers. Luckily, you don't need to hide your Jedi powers anymore. This ship is about to kill you when another ship destroys that ship and the person on board is like, we're here to help. What? I said, we're here to help. You're touching yourself. Forget it. Fuck off. Then the train gets bombed, which isn't a very good thing to happen. Now you're sliding to your death. That ship reappears to save you, but I guess you skip leg day because you don't quite make the jump. Then smash your face on a metal thing. Jedi or not, that is sending you into at least a 7-year coma. Through the Force, you safely reach the ground, but Darth Vader 2.0 forces you into crossing swords like you're two close friends in a public toilet. The friendly ship stops her, and nearly you in the process, and you escape with the two people on board. They're called Seer and Grease. Seer tells you that Darth Vader 2.0 is an Imperial Inquisitor. She has one job, to kill surviving Jedis. In other words, you shouldn't have used the Force and wave your lightsaber around. Moving on, they take you to Bogano. Seer says there's a key to rebuilding the Jedi Order inside that mossy chimney over there. I guess she just assumed you'd help because your lightsaber is blue and not red. Oh yes, Seer used to be a Jedi. That's why she wants to restore the Order. She's not like an overly friendly civilian. Anyway, you start making your way to the chimney when you come across this little Wall-E looking ass with grippers who just invites himself along for the ride. He's called BD1. He can take you across zip lines and hack into stuff, at least until he starts a fight with a wrinkly sausage. The path to the chimney is blocked by wall running, and you can't do that, but when you see these lizards running along a wall, you're like, oh shit, I forgot I can do that, and have a flashback to when you're a kid learning to wall run. I wasn't aware that dementia was part of the Jedi Order, but now you can reach the chimney. Inside there's a doorway that only opens after stroking it. You have to go through a small crack to reach a big wet room, so I assume the Jedis partial to a Big Mac aren't welcome. After scanning the circle in the middle, BD shows a hologram of a guy called Eno Cordova. The basic gist is that he left a secret message inside BD in hopes that a young Padawan would find it, and like Seer, just assumes you'll help and that you're not an evil / generally lazy guy. There's a vault here where he put a list of names and locations of Force-sensitive children who you will use to rebuild the Jedi Order, or the Empire will use as target practice. Either way, you need to go and follow in Cordova's footsteps to receive a key to the vault. He said to go to Zeffo to find a tomb or something, but instead you find death. Okay, I wouldn't say it's death. Stormtroopers are more of a slight inconvenience. The way you get around the place involves a lot of wall running using the Force and sliding down ice slides like that one level in Mario 64, and since there's not like some fucking stairs or anything, the Empire must have built it like this, even though their stormtroopers look like they have trouble wiping their own ass. Never mind traversing some pumpy-dumpy tubes. What the fuck am I on about? You find a bunch of rocks spinning aggressively around a lift that only you can access because you need the Force to slow them down. Inside the lift, you hear Cordova.
The walls of this tomb remind me of myself after the divorce. Old and abandoned.
I'm not exactly sure what you're looking for in this tomb, but you find an old door, and when you touch it, you get a flashback to being a kid, and you're like, oh my god, duh! Literally every Jedi can push people around, so now you can force push, conveniently in this tomb filled with stuff that needs force pushing. I know it's the game devs teaching you how it works, but fuck you. Further in the tomb, you once again find Cordova, who's like,
look at this. Where do you think this is from?
It looks like a tree bark from Kashyyyk.
Wrong! It's a tree bark from Kashyyyk.
I forgot this was a hologram. Cordova on some David Attenborough shit tells you that these markings look like the bark of a tree on Kashyyyk and figures that Wookiee Chief Tarful will know something. So you head back to the ship and on the way come face to face with the strongest enemy you've found so far. This ATST, an acronym for... tits. Someone's tweaking. You ask Seer why she doesn't use the Force anymore, because an extra Force person will be really fucking helpful, and it's because she got tortured by the Empire and her Padawan got killed. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a great time, she's probably sitting at like a solid 2, maybe 3. Time to go to Kashyyyk. It's an active war zone at the moment because the Empire just decided to say a space fuck you to everyone. Also, being an active war zone makes it sort of difficult to land with all the shootings and explosions and stuff, so you have to jump off your ship into the water. I just hope that you don't need a flashback of your childhood to remind you how to swim. There's a herd of AT-ATs, an acronym for tits. Tits. You decide to hijack one. You decide to hijack one because having a lightsaber and the Force is cool, but so is having 70 tons of space metal that can walk. With it, you're able to help out the rebels, and you meet this guy, Saw Gerrera. You tell him you're looking for Tarful, and he's like, yeah, good luck with that shit. Since you're here, you want to free some slaves? Well, it might help you find Tarful, so let's do it. Hey, what is that? A stormtrooper? Using a workbench, you upgrade BD so he can electrically charge stuff. Then you free like 7 Wookiee slaves. Yeah, I'm sure the Empire is trembling at our reinforcements. The Empire doesn't like that, forcing you into another battle with... tits. Someone's tweaking. The Wookiees are free, so generic soldier and generic furry tell you they'll look for Tarful because right now he's nowhere to be fucking found. Let's go kill some time at Zeffo because the Empire has found a tomb. You go to check the excavation site and find Darth Vader 2.0, who asserts her dominance by telling you that she knows everything about you, including how many times you pissed in the shower. Oh, she also knows about Cordova in the list of children. You have a rematch and she's about to kill you, but BD is like, how about no, you leather-wearing fuck? Then plot twist, she's not just a random person, she's Seer's Padawan Triller. Yeah, Seer may have bent the truth slightly when she said she wasn't alive. She says Seer gave her location to the Empire while being tortured, and because she felt betrayed, thought fuck it and joined the other team. She's trying to convince you to do the same because Seer will eventually do the same to you, but you're a good guy and tell her to shove it, then carry on further into the excavation site. This takes you to a big dangling sarcophagus, which I thought was like a coffin, so I don't know what kind of large specimen is in there. Anyway, it's a trap, and a ship shoots the chains out, making you drop your lightsaber and fall. When this happened, I thought your life was in danger, but the light skin stare you're giving the camera seems to disagree. Then as you're falling, you have a flashback to when you were a kid, and obviously, if you can force push stuff, you can force pull stuff too. Up until now, I was under the impression that touching stuff sets off your flashbacks, but it's just actually whenever the fucking plot requires it. So you pull your lightsaber back and land with the grace of a gymnast. Maybe your life wasn't in danger after all. Now that you've remembered another skill, you unlock the secrets of the tomb, the secrets being Cordova like, holy shit, an original Banksy. Now he finds a picture of what is basically the key to the vault called the Zeffo Astrium. One must still exist since he found it and put the kids' names in there. Then you take the lift out and start going back to your ship, but randomly get into a fight with someone called Null Chance who kidnaps you and puts you in a cage. They took BD too, so after escaping with the Force, you find him, start looking for a way out by powering a lift, which isn't an escape, it just dumps you in an arena run by Sork Tomo, who's like a guy from when Grease was a gambling addict. Anyway, you fight through the entire safari he's got in his back garden until Grease comes to save you, and you make a quick getaway. They'll never catch us at this speed. Back on the ship, despite your recent kidnapping, you remember what Darth Vader 2.0 said, and are like, I know your little secret. You didn't check my history on the computer, did you? No, not that secret. She doesn't actually say whether she betrayed Darth Vader 2.0 or not, keeping us in the state of not knowing if she's an asshole or not. Then you get interrupted by a transmission from Kashyyyk with generic furry saying she found Tarful. Obviously, you need to go back to Kashyyyk. Generic furry gives you a map to the big tree where Tarful is. How was that not like the first place you went to look? I don't know. Tarful says Cordova found some wisdom at the top of the tree. Listen here, you hairy fuck. I'm looking for a key to a vault, not some fucking wisdom. Maybe this wisdom is how I can make my parents proud of me, so let's go have a look. Generic furry gives you a breathe underwater tool, and you start making your way up the tree, which not only has acid slugs, giant spiders, pointy plants that like to stick their noses up your bum, and the Empire's goons, but also the ninth sister, who I forgot even existed. She tries to kill you with a ship, and it's very intense because there's explosions, but then you realize she has the aim of an old person with cataracts, so it kind of loses its intensity. Anyway, Big Tree is home to Big Dragon Bird, who doesn't like having its home exploded. The ninth sister, forgettable in death as she was in life. Far way up the tree, you have another flashback to your childhood and you learn how to double jump. Very convenient for all the double jumping you suddenly need to do. On your way to the top of the tree, you run into the big dragon bird who got injured after kamikazing the ninth sister's ship. Like, what were you expecting? It's metal. So you give it a little stim that completely heals the blunt force trauma and third degree burns from it. Side note, the stim is the same one you use to heal yourself, so either you're nearly overdosing on morphine or the stim is like one dose fits all kind of stim. Whatever, the dragon bird is your friend. It takes you to the top of the tree where there's a workbench for some reason. There's a joke about humans being arseholes to the environment here somewhere, but look, a double-ended lightsaber. At the top of the tree, you find another Cordovagram. He found the Zeffo Astrium up here. Yeah, there isn't one for you. He's like, now I can go and unlock that shit, and I don't need to go to Dathomir to get that other Zeffo Astrium that is stored there inside Kujit's tomb in Dathomir, where it's stored. Wink, wink. That was sarcasm. Please go there to find it. Returning to your ship, you go to jump on the dragon bird, but would you believe it, the ninth sister is still alive and hiding in these leaves like a caterpillar or something. Anyway, it's fight time, but given that she's the ninth sister and not the second sister, she's not that important. Then you go back to the ship. So yeah, the other Zeffo astrium is on Dathomir, the planet that has the comfort of a 5-hour Ryanair flight. It's also home to the Night Sisters, who are mostly extinct, except for this one who tells you to f off because you're a Jedi. The Night Sisters are like Doctor Strange in space, by the way. Despite her telling you to leave, you do the exact opposite and keep running around until you find this rogue man outside some ruins who looks like he'll either flash you or offer you substances under a bridge. He tells you the ruins ahead have some power within them, and you like power. It's a shame the people living here don't like you, though. The fall takes you to the Night Sister again, who necromancers her dead sisters because them experiencing death once wasn't enough. Then you try to make your way back up to the ruins, the way gets blocked, so you go even further down into a swamp and start making your way back up again. On the way, you come across a large open room that isn't home to anything the size of your mum. Would you look at that? I was wrong. The fat bat runs away when you poke it with your lightsaber and you find some climbing claws on a guy who might still need them, I'm not sure. The climbing claws just allow you to climb better. Yeah, who would have guessed that? Anyway, you're making your way up to the ruins when the fat bat decides he wants to go for round 2 with you at a slight disadvantage because the only weapon you can hit him with is an earth-shattering fart. It picks you up and chucks you into the air, but instead of flying away and letting you dent the ground with your head, keeps coming back like a fucking boomerang until you ride it into a wall. You go to the ruins, touch a door, and then meditate, which takes you back to when you were a kid. The clones betrayed you, so you and your master tried to escape, but he got shot. I refuse to believe he couldn't deflect this gunfire like every Jedi can, but I've never watched Star Wars, so maybe there's like a limit to the bullet deflecting before things get a bit confusing. You escaped, but your master died and gave you his lightsaber. Then you have a bit of a nightmare with him calling you a failure, which makes you cry and choke your lightsaber, so yeah, that shit is broken. The door still didn't open, so you have no choice but to leave. The rogue man is waiting outside and introduces himself as Taron Malicos. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but he's a Jedi, so I guess he's important. He tries to get you to join him, but you don't wanna. Then the Night Sister resurrects more of her sisters, and you run away to your ship. You're like, I'm such a terrible person for letting my master die. Like, bro couldn't even deflect 4 bullets. Sounds like a him problem. Seer tells you about how she used the dark side to escape when she found out Darth Vader 2.0 had been turned into an Inquisitor, which is her way of saying same, bro, I think. Then you go to Ilum, where lightsabers are built, because you guessed it, you're building a lightsaber. Jedis are basically useless without them, apparently. You need a kyber crystal that's at the end of this cave, but on your way you fall into some water and start to freeze until Child You pulls you out of the water. You're still cold as heck, but you get a kyber crystal and it splits in 2, which is a bad thing, judging by your reaction. BD plays a hologram of Cordova locking away BD's memories, only to unlock them when he finds someone he trusts, which I guess is you since his memory's back. Somehow this fixes your crystal problem because you just bang together 2 lightsabers and start fucking with the Empire on the way back to your ship. Ah, tits. You go back to Dathomir with 2 lightsabers and half-decent mental health and back into the ruins. This is a basic summary of how the nightmare with your master goes.
You're a failure.
Nuh-uh. And he lets you through. Then you find the Night Sister again. For a bit of context on why she hates you, it's because the Jedis came and murdered her sisters, which, you know, is a reason for hating someone. You tell her that it was a lie because Jedis are peacekeepers and got betrayed too. So now you're friends and head over to deal with Malicos, who's still offering you power, but once again, you're like, nuh-uh. You have a fight with him and then the Night Sister just seals him into a brick like an absolute chad. Night Sister doesn't know about the astrium, even though it's like in her gaff like 20 feet away in a wall, but she's got no family and no friends, so invite herself to come with you, and since she's like a Doctor Strange magical ass, that's okay. You take the astrium to Bogano, open the vault, and when you touch the wall, a piece of paper drops out with some kids' names on it. I'm joking. You have a vision of a Zeffo sage. It's a very enlightening experience. The sage tells you how they went extinct, and then you have a premonition of what life is like with all those little Jedi kids. Spoiler, it's shit. They all die or get caught by the Empire, and you become an Inquisitor. It's weird. When you return from your hallucination, the holocron with all the kids' names on is magically floating in the middle. Unfortunately, you're not alone. Darth Vader 2.0 has arrived, and judging by her dramatic lightsaber switch on slightly out of focus in the background, she means business. You can probably imagine how the conversation goes. Give me the holocron. No. You leave me no choice! And you have a fight, which, holy shit, you start winning. You hit her with the old General Grievous lightsaber maneuver, but that makes you have flashbacks, so remember when I said, up until now I was under the impression that touching stuff sets off your flashbacks, but it's just actually whenever the fucking plot requires it. That was wrong. You can see the history of objects when you touch them through the Force, and apparently you can't control it. That seems more inconvenient than anything. I'd hate for you to accidentally touch your parents' bed. Darth Vader 2.0 realizes this is a moment and steals the holocron while you watch a biography of a life that happens to show the moment she became an Inquisitor, and Seer using the dark side to escape. Anyway, you messed up. Darth Vader 2.0 has the holocron, and you do not have the holocron, which is the exact opposite of holocron possession that you wanted. If only you knew where she was taking it.
I know where she's taking it.
Well, how convenient. It's the place where the Inquisitors are produced. It's a heavily fortified base with lots of security, but I'm sure the main character, a failed Jedi, a gambling addict, and a Doctor Strange knockoff will have no issues. You then get knighted. Jedi by Seer, making you a professional Jedi, and she keeps the lightsaber, so I guess she's a Jedi again too, I think. Now you've only got one more destination. Fortress Inquisitorius. That sounds like a fucking Harry Potter spell. Since it's heavily guarded, you need a way in. Luckily, Night Sister casts a fucking green screen over you. Seer goes to mess with their security while you try and find the holocron. The stealth kind of goes out the window when you attack the first living thing you see. Oh, and also when you flood the entire base. I hope no one noticed that. Partway in, you find Seer again, and she unlocks the interrogation chamber where the holocron is, but you're stopped by Darth Vader 2.0 and start what I guess guess, is the final fight. You try and use the sympathy attack, but it's not very effective, so fuck her. You take the holocron and Seer comes in to try and convince Darth Vader 2.0 to stop, but then somebody else shows up. Oh my god, it's Darth Vader 1.0. Asthma and all. You're like, do you think he's seen us? He has. He kills Darth Vader 2.0 and Seer is like, I'll handle this. She didn't handle this. Now it's your turn, but you have one thing separating you from Seer. You're the main character. Oh god, he's really strong. How is he throwing so many metal things at us? Okay, he can just bend and move anything he wants. At least if we get to the lift, he won't be able to touch it. Okay, he's right there. And relax. Even with earth-shattering powers, he apparently can't touch the mechanics of a lift. Leaving Seer behind, you go to make your way to the surface. Psych, Darth Vader 1.0 can teleport. He stabs you with your own lightsaber, but gets attacked by Seer, who's still alive. The rematch goes about as well as her first attempt, but then she starts to use the dark side, which actually works, kind of. You're like, Seer, stop! Like, bro, shut up. It's working. Help her out. Throw your lightsaber at it. She stops and you flood the base because everybody knows Darth Vader 1.0's weakness is wet socks. Then you escape. You're really deep underwater though and start to drown until Night Sister comes to save you. Don't even try and convince me she knows how to swim. Did you see her home planet? It was drier than my love life. Point is, you've all escaped with the holocron and you make the executive decision to destroy it so no one can find those kids. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe a decision that can affect the entire galaxy should be thought about for more than 30 seconds.